Hi, welcome to Edward Box Guitar Tuition. So my classic album inspection today is Uriah Heep's Demons and Wizards, released on 19th of May 1972. It's 50 years old today, and this is a real classic of early heavy rock and proto-heavy metal. So this is where the album where the classic Heep lineup comes together. On the previous tour, Gary Fane replaced Mark Clark on bass. He's a New Zealander, Gary Fane. And then he was joined by Lee Kerslake prior to recording for this, and they formed the classic rhythm section, and then they're alongside Ken Hensley on keyboards and second guitar, Mick Box, my namesake, and of course the late great David Byron on vocals. Obviously, I should say the late great Ken Hensley as well, and the late great Lee Kerslake and Gary Fane. There's only one member of this band left alive, Mick Box. So what's this album like? If you look at the cover, obviously you can see it's back to the front, but it's a Roger Dean cover. And it's the first metal album, hard rock album, the heavy rock album, the progressive rock, Uriah Heep, to use a Roger Dean fantasy album cover, but to have fantasy-infused lyrics. The track titles, The Wizard, Traveller in Time, you've got Rainbow Demon, Paradise the Spell. Titles like that, they're suggesting, other worlds and stuff. And this will be an influence on the lyrics of things like Rainbow, and numerous metal bands and rock and progressive and power metal and so on moving through. But I think this is the first album that fully embraces that sort of aesthetic and lyrical idea. Most of the tracks are written by Ken Hensley. I haven't got those to hand. Obviously, Hensley had an ear and, could turn out a hit. In actual fact, I think there was a little more co-writes on this, but because Easy Living and The Wizard were hits, that meant that Jerry Bron, the manager, wanted Ken Hensley to write more, which caused ruptions in the band. So this charted top in 9 countries. May have charted more. It was 9 on Wiki, 4 in the top 10. It stayed at number 1 in Finland for 14 weeks. It made number 23 in the US and was gold, and 20 in the UK. So probably got pretty decent worldwide sales, this. I think people forget how popular Uriah Heep were, although never quite on the level in the States of Purple and Sabbath. They're very popular in Germany. This was a top 5 album. Other parts of Europe and Australia. And they have at this point certainly sold 30 million albums, maybe 50, let's say 40. Obviously got a lot of stuff out there. So, right in there with some of the biggest bands this country's produced. The only thing to say is Mark Clark sings co-lead on The Wizard. I didn't realise this. So Mark Clark plays on The Wizard and some bonus tracks, and Gary Fane does the rest. I'm guessing it's the high part that comes in the middle of The Wizard. But that's the opening track. It's 2 minutes 59. That's a great track. It's got a great 12-string acoustic riff. I think it might be in D standard, drop D, or is it drop D? Not sure. Probably drop D. Really good, I think Ken Hensley might play the acoustic on this. Really cool lyric, cool production effects with the delay going up. And you can see why it was a hit. I think it made about number 39 in the US or something like that. Or maybe that was Easy Living, but it did a lot for the band. All-time classic. So the next track's Traveller in Time. This has got a sort of classic Mick Box wah-wah. This is a good deep cut. It's been featured on a lot of compilations. And that often gets used as a kind of subtitle for compilations. Again, another just short, punchy track. I think, we've got to give Heep credit for this. They know how to pen a tune that's under 4 minutes, under 3 minutes, and be successful with it. A lot of their contemporaries at this point were starting to kind of stretch out more and do longer songs, whereas Heep had a balance there. And then track 3 is Easy Living. This is 2:37, so again, really nailing it, totally zips along. This is a classic staple of classic rock radio. Quite an interesting sort of you almost can't hear the drum beat on it. It's kind of like a shuffling drum beat. Really good track. Again, you've got your trademark Heep harmonies in the middle. So Heep predate the Sweet and Queen by having high falsetto harmonies. I'm sure those bands are probably influenced by that. So everyone sang. I don't think Mick Box did, but certainly Ken Hensley's a very good second lead singer and sung some lead. I'm guessing Gary Fane could, certainly Lee Kerslake could sing good backing vocals. And when Mark Clark was in the band, I'm guessing he was doing that. So, they could layer those harmonies and get that sweet falsetto on the top. So the middle section of this shows that off. Then track 4 is Poet's Justice. This is a kind of little known track with deep cut on the album. I like it. It's got a really cool opening with some oohs and some ahs. It's 4:15 and it's a cool album track. And then side 1 finishes with a more epic Circle of Hands, 6 minutes 25. Really good, lovely Hammond keyboard intro by Ken Hensley. And the song's got, it builds up really good, and the end section's good, and it's got some top kind of sonic sounds from the keyboard. So I've said before, I think Uriah Heep are popular in Germany because they'll kind of wig out a bit on the Hammond, and I think those kind of sonic sounds gave them a little bit of probably sway with krautrock fans and that movement, which uses the keyboard's electronic effects and so on. That's just my theory anyway. So side 1's really strong. I should say it's recorded at Lansdowne Studios, like all those early Heep albums, and I think it's produced by Jerry Brom. So side 2 of the original vinyl opens with Rainbow Demon. This is a real classic Heep deep cut that probably still plays live. It's got a brilliant Hammond organ riff. It's 4 minutes 25. It's good because it feels epic, but it's only 4:25. Love the chorus on this, and again a top sort of fantasy lyric. Obviously bringing the rainbow in, that will become beloved in the genre. Then you got All My Life. Again, this is sort of the track that kind of mirrors Poet's Justice. It's kind of more maybe not Poet's Justice, it's more the sort of party rock track. I forget which track is off track 2, is it, on Look at Yourself? Forget the title of it, but it's kind of like that. Or Tears in My Eyes, or those kind of tracks. So it's a decent track. Again, 2:44 just zips by. Like the album's about 39 minutes long, so, well, actually 39:40. Just under 40 minutes, so it's got a nice balance, of short and long tracks. And then it finishes with 2 tracks that interlock, Paradise and The Spell. Paradise is 5:10. I think that kind of fades into The Spell, which is 7:32. So this is I really like the acoustic part at the start of this, really cool. Again, probably Ken Hensley. Really good acoustic sound, been really well captured. I mean, sometimes Heap's production could be a little bright on the guitars, but it differs. It's just got a different sound to Sabbath or Purple or Zeppelin. Not that they want to be included with heavy rock and metal, but tough shit you are for some songs. So yeah, that's a really cool track. Kind of got a jolly bit at the end. So yeah, this is a really cracking album. Like I say, I'm not sure whether I prefer this or Look at Yourself. I think this, with it having more tracks, it's a bit more, there's more kind of to tuck into on this. I just like the heaviness of Look at Yourself, but there's no doubt those 2 albums are the best of the early era. And obviously this one, with Gary Fane on bass. I mean, you've got to say this guy's one of the all-time great rock bass players. He plays lovely melodic stuff in the gaps on this. He's got a lovely tone, really warm. Actually the bonus track on this, Y, is pretty funky, and he actually really freaks out on that. So it's worth having a disc. Well, most of them now have the bonus tracks. There's quite a lot. Okay, so that's Demons and Wizards, 50 years old today. Quite interesting doing his albums at 50 years old. I mean, that's like an eternity, man. Amazing. Okay, see you again. Cheers, thanks.